My wife and parents think I came home after going missing, but it isn't me. We found a door. It was fairly large, a little taller than me, I'm about 6'2", and in surprisingly good condition. I'd honestly expected the door to be rotted or partially collapsed. It looked old, sure, but it was still intact, and its hinges were solid. Looking at my dad, I shrugged, braced myself against the red brick door frame, and gave the door a shove with my shoulder. It ground open, the door catching a little, but we were able to go in. The first thing I did was look up. I didn't want anything to fall on my head. The floors above us had partially collapsed, and I could see daylight shining through a pretty significant hole in the roof. The place smelled damp and old, and, to our disappointment, there wasn't much to see. The floor was well-compacted earth and chunks of wood from the collapsed floors. There was no furniture. We took a look around. I snapped some photos with my phone of the interior, the roof, and the exterior, and we chatted about what we thought it had been. Our guesses ranged from a folly, a kind of mock castle built for decoration, but those had become popular in the 18th and 19th century, and this tower was too old for that. Or part of an old manor house. But then where was the rest of it? Or an old hunting lodge? It definitely wasn't an old church tower. It didn't look right for that, and there was no evidence of any kind of religious decoration. We were about to leave when I spotted some graffiti by the door. The old graffiti carved into the brick, not sprayed with paint, which you tend to see here in England when you visit really old churches or other buildings. It was a circle, etched perfectly with a compass or chisel into the brickwork. Inside the circle was what looked like a flower, 6 petals, emanating from a central point, each perfectly shaped and uniform in size. We thought it had to be graffiti because, and I don't know how we could tell exactly, it didn't look decorative. It looked like this had been carved a little later, and the way it cut across the bricks and mortar, without regard for what looked aesthetically pleasing. I don't know. It looked unplanned, plus it was off-center from the door, and there were no similar patterns anywhere else in the tower. I took a photo of it, planning to look it up later and maybe reverse image search it. Like the story? Like, comment and share it for the next part.